I'm Kelly Hallinan, and welcome back to another episode of Kickoff with Kelly. I'm joined by a junior here at Butler University and on the football team, Joe Mara. So, Joe, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. How about yourself?
I'm good. So how did you find Butler, and what made you want to come here and play football?
So I'm from Westville, Indiana, which is about like 30 minutes north of Indianapolis. So just kind of growing up, went to like Butler basketball games, been around the area for forever, and then knew I wanted to play football and had an opportunity here. And then the school as a whole just had a great sports media program, which I was excited to be a part of, and also small class size. And then the community of Butler is a lot different. It's not as cliquey compared to like the traditional like IU, Purdue.
And what made you want to study sports media here?
So when I was little, my first ever football game I ever watched was the Bucks and the Colts, and it was Monday Night Football. And I watched Stuart Scott on TV, so that was like a big like tell for me that I wanted to be going to sports media at some point in my life, and I was like inspired from that day on.
Have you had a favorite class or favorite professor so far here at Butler?
I don't really know. I feel like it kind of depends on the class. There's been my favorite classes, professors. I don't know. I feel like at Butler, you don't really have favorite professors because you can find like all different type of people and people that care about you in different ways, teach you different things. So I would say I have a favorite professor, favorite class, probably just anything to like be able to see behind the scenes with like cameras, get in front of cameras, just all that type of stuff.
And how has being an athlete helped you in sports media? Has it helped you at all just because you are so familiar with sports?
Yeah, I think it helps in a sense just because I understand like the game a little bit more than like some other people, but it also kind of leaves me out of like some opportunities where other students have like time to go to or do internships. They have time to do like other sporting events, and I don't really have that amount of time with football, which kind of, it's like, I like what I do, but I wish I had more time to like be able to get into sports media a little bit more.
So obviously, since you are a football player, I'm assuming that you like football, but are there any other sports you like to cover particularly?
I'm a big basketball guy, but I wasn't blessed with any height, so that didn't help me at all. But I've been like a big Pacers fan ever since I was little, so I always liked basketball. And then my first ever sport I ever played was baseball, so I was like obsessed with baseball. My dad's from New York, loved the Yankees, and then, yeah. Now here I am playing football.
So post Butler, do you see yourself more in front of the camera, behind the camera, more on the PR marketing side of sports, or where do you kind of see yourself in your future?
I think that's what's exciting about like Butler as a whole, just because there's so many opportunities. You can kind of figure out what you want to do as you go along. You don't have to come in with like such like a closed mind, like this is what I'm gonna do, like no matter what, which I think is a great thing about Butler. So I think I could go down different avenues just depending on like what I decide I like, what I decide, and just kind of peek into different markets and, like you said, PR and marketing, and then behind the camera, in front of the camera, just see what I like.
And what is your favorite things to do besides on campus at Butler around the Indianapolis community in your years here?
My years here, I'm a big fan of Yats, if anyone knows what that is, in Broad Ripple. I don't know. I think there's a lot of good places to go eat around the Butler, or like, yeah, around the Indianapolis area. And then it's just such a big like sporting town. So there's like, you can go to a Pacers game, you can go to Indians game, Colts game, you got like the NCAA museum. So kind of just getting out and just like meeting new people. I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned from being at Butler, just like spend your time doing.
So if you had to meet your freshman year self, what is something that you would have told your freshman year self about coming to Butler?
I guess now with everything going on, probably kind of just like be prepared for anything and not be like closed-minded, meet new people, talk to anybody. And I think that's a little bit hard here just because of the way the dynamic's set up with like athletes and people that aren't in athletics, but yeah, just find new people.
And I know we talked about Indianapolis being such a sports city. So what was your favorite sporting event that you've attended here in Indy?
My favorite sporting event I've ever attended would probably be the Colts-Chiefs wildcard game when Andrew Luck was on the Colts. They came down from 25 points at half. That's probably my favorite sporting event I've ever been to.
Well, it looks like that is all the time we have for right now here at Kickoff with Kelly. We'll be back after this little commercial break, and Joe will still be here. All right, welcome back to Kickoff with Kelly. I'm Kelly again, joined by Joe Mara. So Joe, obviously COVID has impacted all fall sports here at Butler. How has it specifically impacted football season?
So going with the season, obviously we had the cancellation, and then now we've moved to the spring. So like this this time of the year we have a full-fledged season, but then we kind of flipped it. So like in the spring we have like a 5 to 6 week period where we do like practices, lifting, training. So we kind of just like flip that in the sense that now we're doing training, couple practices a week, just getting ready for the season, which has been like a really weird dynamic just because you're so used to like, ever since I was, 5 or 6 years old, I've been playing football in the fall, and now I'm gonna have to play in February and March. And also just with the protocols have been like so like demanding and stressful. It just kind of like gets to you at some point where you're like every single day you're sending check marks to make sure that you're like no symptoms, no nothing. You got weekly testing, just kind of trying to stay up on all your stuff. And then I think the biggest adjustment for me, honestly, has been having to wear a mask when we're like practicing, when we're lifting. That's just been like a huge adjustment. It's kind of been like something, I don't know, it's been a weird process, but I'm just thankful to be able to like be playing football at this point when it seems so like abyss, like way back when in March, it was like, we're never going to do anything ever again. So.
And I believe you guys found out in about August about your season being canceled. What was your initial reaction? Where were you? What was kind of going through your head? And what did your teammates say?
So my initial reaction, I was actually at work and we had like a random Zoom meeting was called. I was at work, I like texted my coach, I'm like, hey, I can't be there. Next thing I know, everyone's like freaking out in all the group chats and everything. I see things on Twitter, I'm like, oh, what's happening? And then I get off work, call my coach. He's like, yeah, the season was canceled. So I think for me, like, it was kind of more of like a shocking thing. But at the same time, I don't think I was like as distraught because I kind of knew this was like a possibility going. I mean, it's also just health and safety like that. We didn't need that type of stuff going on, especially with the way that it's set up here, us coming back to campus. So in a sense, I was like a little upset, but I just knew that it was for the best. And
so how has the Butler community and Butler athletics at large kind of helped you guys all through this time? Obviously, it's extremely hard for athletes because everything is so different. You don't have that fun season and fans visiting. So how has the community kind of just helped you adjust to this new period?
I think the community's helped a little bit in the sense that, like, when we had a scrimmage last Saturday, we had people out there, like, obviously socially distanced with masks and everything, which was, like, cool to see just that people, like, still care when like it's so like weird when we're at practice and you practice all week and then there's no game at the end of the week and then there's no one there and you're not seeing, I don't know. It's just, it's definitely been a weird process, but I'm just glad that we're back and doing something other than just like sitting around, especially those first 2 weeks of school were really weird where it's just, I would sit in my room, go to Zoom classes compared to when it's a strenuous like full week schedule.
So are you guys allowed to have an extra year of eligibility because of the impact COVID-19 has had on your season? And if so, are you considering doing an extra year, or do you know anyone on your team considering staying just to play out that extra season that they didn't get?
Yeah, so the NCAA did grant everyone extra year eligibility, which I think some guys will take a part of. I'm not really sure if I will, just because, so if you've redshirted, that would mean you'd play not only a 5th year, but a 6th year. So like some guys would be like 23, maybe 24 years old. So I think that'd be a little bit weird. But I know a lot of the 5th year guys now that we're going to take a 5th year this year will probably take part of it next year just so they can continue to play football. Because, I mean, obviously football ends at some point for everybody, but just being able to have that little bit left and feel like a kid for a little bit longer.
And obviously this has definitely impacted the freshmen. They come in thinking they're going to have big football games, fans. How have they kind of reacted to this, and how have you guys supported them throughout this season to make sure that they're adjusting well and they're still having fun and playing football?
I think it's been hard for them, but I think it's also better because they don't know what it was like beforehand. So they didn't get to see like when everyone's interacting and stuff. So we've tried to do that in like the best way we possibly can, but I think it's better that they didn't get to see like last year how, or like the year before, like 2 years ago when I was a freshman, how like everyone interacted. We did things outside of football. So I think it's better in that aspect, but it's definitely been hard because for the first couple weeks, you only see guys on Zoom meetings and stuff. So, but it's been an adjustment, but we're doing the best we can.
And lastly, what can we expect for this spring season? Is it going to look a little bit different? Are fans going to be allowed? Do you know any of that yet?
I think the only thing we know about right now is it's going to be a 6-game schedule starting in the end of February. I would hope they'll probably let a small percentage of fans, but we'll see. But just kind of gearing up and being ready.
Well, we are looking forward to the spring football season, and we'll take a little bit of a break, and then we will be back here again for our last segment of Kickoff with Kelly. We are back with our final segment of Kickoff with Kelly, and I'm joined again still by Joe Mara. So Joe, today I'm going to ask you some of your favorite spots around campus and around Indy, and we're going to get to know you a little bit more off the field. So first, where's your favorite place to eat on campus?
On campus, there's not very many options at this point, so I'm going to go with my apartment where I can cook, and not Atherton.
And what is your favorite thing to cook in your apartment?
My favorite thing to cook is chicken parmesan because it's like simple, but it can be like really, really good.
So if you had to go to Atherton by force, what would you get at Atherton?
The only thing that's good at Atherton is breakfast, but that's because you can't mess up breakfast. So I would get probably like an omelet and then some like bacon. Yeah.
All right, so moving off campus, what's your favorite place to eat off campus and what do you order there?
Ooh, I go to Yats, like probably way too much, and I get the Drunken Chicken, which is like some chicken. It's like a Creole place, and it has like some chicken. I don't even know. It's like peppers, all this different stuff, and then like a rice on the bottom. I don't know. It's really good though.
All right, cool. What's your favorite place to shop off campus?
Shop. I guess I'm like really big into like Goodwill and like thrift shopping and like going to places like that. But then I like to go to like Keystone and like go to the mall, but I won't buy anything. I just like walking around.
You just window shop?
Yeah, I just like to be like a people watcher.
Oh, okay. Have you had any funny experiences at Keystone? Anything you've seen that was?
Yeah, there's been like Black Friday, like some fights and stuff. Stuff like that, but nothing like crazy.
All right, cool. Where's your favorite spot to study on campus?
I don't know. I don't do well in like libraries and stuff. I kind of need like some noise in the background. So probably just like my room. I don't know. I need like music. I need like louder music. Just something to like distract me from everything else, I guess.
Where's your favorite place to go on the weekends off campus?
Off campus on the weekends. Just kind of depends on like what's going on. If it's like warmer outside, I want to go to a place that like we can go outside. Or like if it's like Topgolf, I feel like is always like a good idea, whether it's like cold or warm. But places like that, I don't know, somewhere, especially now, just somewhere where you can go off campus to just like be around people and not be like so condensed and like closed in like here.
And the weather's been really nice the past few days. So what is your favorite outdoor activity to do in Indy?
To do in Indy, the Funky Bones Park, that thing's really cool. And they have like this swing set that's on this like that goes over the reservoir. And I like to go there. That place is cool.
All right, so off season, when you don't have to stress about football and you don't have games, rigorous practices, what is your favorite hobby outside of football?
Probably cooking, honestly, because I think I like the satisfaction of like making something for myself and then getting to eat it. I think it's just like a cool like experience. Outside of that, I don't know. I try to read, but it doesn't go very well. But I'll try to read like leadership books, stuff like that, just to like kind of like expand my mind, I guess. So
with cooking, do you use a recipe book or do you watch YouTube videos or do you just kind of throw everything in a bowl and see what happens?
Most of the time, honestly, it comes from TikTok. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
It comes from TikTok or like, whether it's like a family recipe, but TikTok has some like pretty cool, like nifty little things that I've made, so. So speaking of TikTok, do you have a presence on TikTok? I've made one singular TikTok, but I do follow lots of people. I think it's really interesting, but I can't, I'm not a good dancer like that. Have you made any dances? I have made one dance. Do you have a favorite dance that you would like to show us here on Kickoff with Kelly today? I would not like to showcase my dance moves today. Okay. But we can look up Kelly Holland's okay. Next question. So what other TikToks do you like to watch besides dancing? I know you said cooking. I know TikTok has a lot of different videos on there. Is there any other thing you like to see pop up on your For You page? Mostly, I feel like, because it's like a For You page, I feel like I always get like sports things, that or like just like funny content, kind of like Vine, stuff like that. So TikTok or Vine, which one's better? Vine was better, just because it was like funny content usually, and it was like short and sweet and to the point. Do you have a favorite Vine reference? Nah, it's been too long. I don't remember enough. Oh, that's not fun. It's okay. And lastly, what is your favorite social media platform at the moment besides TikTok? What are you most active on? I feel like Twitter, just because I like to see it. Especially with like everything that was going on in politics the last couple of weeks. I think it's just like funny to see like a more like, obviously like there's people that want to talk about like news and stuff, but just see like a more like lighthearted tone. Yeah.
Some clever tweets.
Exactly.
All right, well, that is it for our last segment. Everyone make sure you follow Joe on his most active platform, Twitter. It's been great talking today, and I will see you guys next time on Kickoff with Kelly.